Okay, all. This is our lunar pull for October 20th, 2019. Our daily reading for the collective. One of my cats wants to be a part of it today. Come on. Okay, so this reading, as always, is for any and all signs, as it is a reading for the collective. We are doing this, I am doing this reading on October 20th, but the messages could resonate around or following the 20th. So this is really for the time surrounding and following the moon in Cancer at the end of Libra season 2019. I'm actually not sure when it transits into Leo. I would guess it's tomorrow, but it could even be later today. Okay, so we've got the High Priestess, the Knight of Cups, and the Fool card out. A message of intuition, secrets, subconscious instinct. A card of expression and an overflow of expressing love, often with the Knight of Water here. And a card of a new beginning. Pisces energy, Aries energy, Taurus energy, Cancer and Scorpio too, yes, Gemini, yes. So a lot of energies out on the table already. This deck, by the way, is the Deviant Moon Tarot. Now both Aries and Gemini are out on the table. I don't know why I was reading the Fool card as the Magician card, but no sooner did I say that than here's the Magician for us as well. So 0, 1, 2, all on the table. Interesting. And if you are interested in this imagery and in the deck, there is more information about the Deviant Moon Tarot and all the other decks that I use in Lunartics Tarot readings. Oh, down below in the description box. You can find that all down below. You can also find information there about ordering personal readings. There are links to follow. There's a link to donate. Thank you so much for all of you who do order and donate and like and comment and share and subscribe and support the channel in all of the different ways you do. It's so appreciated. We are going to do one more row of cards to sort of see what's going on below the surface of this activity. Secrets, offers, escape, and then the need to manifest resources, probably specifically money for a lot of people here. The Ten of Cups, Ten of Chalices comes out here. Somebody may have been keeping a secret in order to hold this type of family picture here together. There's this happy family, this image of this group sharing fulfillment, shared emotional shared emotional fulfillment, or possibly someone having to keep secrets because of their family, about their family. But we do see this image of shared emotional fulfillment showing up below the surface here. could also be saying that, you know, that's what this message is about, is someone needing to listen to their intuition when it comes to their family, or those who they are, sharing their emotional fulfillment with. And I don't, you know, we'll see what else falls out. I have one more card to get out as well here on the bottom row, but I don't feel like this is saying that, you know, this family, this group of individuals sharing joy and emotional fulfillment is all fake or all surface value, or that this isn't real. I believe a lot of this energy is incredibly genuine, and that's why someone is protecting it with a secret, or a very intuitive, even psychic individual is protecting, guarding a family, some type of family, a group that, you know, creates familial love. And you know, if the message falls out for some that there is a secret being kept within this family, still, I think that the secret is being kept in order to, you know, in order to protect this, what is genuine about this love and connection we see here. Or if it is that they are keeping a secret because of the family, for a family member, right? Then again, it's because there's a genuine connection. There is a lot of Aries energy in this spread. The King of Wands is reversed, but there's also the Fool and the Magician. However, this King of Wands that's also down here on the second row could also be a Sagittarius or a Leo. This is below the surface of the offer that I see. As I said, this could be an overflow of emotional expression. So often someone who makes promises, even commitments, certainly offers, like it appears here in the image, that they can't actually follow through on, live up to. They may even mean them in the moment. But again, it's often an overflow of expression, and so it doesn't turn out to be genuine for very long, if it is at all. Sometimes it's outright manipulation, but often it's unintentional. Someone's offers, words, emotions are simply premature, immature. And it looks to me like it's because someone here, likely a masculine figure, in my opinion, someone here is making emotional offers on the surface, but beneath the surface, they are, that could be the secret that we see being kept. Beneath the surface, they are actually not feeling very tolerant, very tolerant of those around them. They truly don't want to be around anyone. It feels like socializing, it feels like work. They don't approve of what those around them are doing, or they're just feeling very antisocial. And yet they're making emotional offers. or, you know, expressing something creatively, channeling that anti-people energy into some type of work, which could even be productive, right? Let's get that last card out. We're over 10 minutes in and I can't get to that last card. The Knight of Cups almost seems to be making an offer to the Fool card. So it looks like that individual is likely making an offer to someone who isn't that interested. This particular depiction of the King of Wands, and it is showing up reversed, is often a family man, but it is showing up reversed. And as I said, there is something about this family that's causing someone to have to keep a secret, or at the very least a close intuitive psychic watch. I don't know why I said that one would be at the least, but causing someone to have to guard in order to protect it in that family in some way. And for a lot, it has to do with the secret. And even if it's a family in need of that type of intuitive psychic protection, in a way it's a secret too, right? Because to a lot of the family, they're, or if not all of them, they're unaware of it. But this King of Wands in reverse here may be the one keeping the secret, or the reason a secret has to be kept. It could be one way to read it, and this is just one possible message here. It could be that this King of Wands is not feeling as much like a family man as this portrait here would suggest. There is connection, there is a genuine love here, but for some reason he doesn't want to be part of the family, be having to lead, guide the family right now at this time. Needs some of that weight lifted, needs to experience something different. Maybe he's the head of the household, but or he's the head male of the household, but it's also time for him to move out and go to college or something. So there's this need to get away from being a family man, and yet it's not that he doesn't love his family, right? Of course, it could be a male of a different age with different motivations, right? And it doesn't always have to be a male just because it shows up as a king. That's just how I'm going to roll forward with the message. But so here he is, expressing emotional energy to someone outside of the family, making an emotional offer to someone, or channeling his emotions into some type of creative expression, maybe that he's using to apply to some school somewhere, if it is like my first example, right? I feel like that example would probably be rare because the King of Wands shows up, because he's showing up as a king, reversed or not, So normally this is a very mature character, older or very mature. So if they're just at that age where they're getting ready to go to school, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, that they're the head of the family, the man of the family at that age, that they're a very mature individual and would show up as a king. I'm sure it does. I just think it's rarer than not. In any case, if someone is keeping it a secret that they are working on some sort of creative, emotional expression in order to get into a school or something like that, then I do think that it does turn into this brand new, fresh beginning that we see here. If, however, someone is making an emotional offer of love, say, to someone specifically, it looks like that other person has their own new beginning that they're gallivanting off on, right? And so they're looking back. It's not that they're not interested in your offer, but they're not that interested. They're not interested enough to take you up on it, or maybe it's you with the new beginning and you're not interested enough to take someone else up, right? It could be the other way around. But whomever is making the offer, if it's to a person, it looks like that person is going to continue forward, though they are acknowledging that there is reason to consider your offer. You see, they're looking back at it. They just have a lot else to deal with as they get started on what seems to be a fated beginning of a major life cycle for them that they absolutely cannot turn down or refuse to head off on for you. Certainly not for this type of energy, which they may be picking up on. So if it is you, making the offer, keep in mind, someone could be very much so picking up on the fact that your energy is hiding this feeling of being more intolerant and antisocial. There's this intensity bubbling beneath the surface. Is it a temper? It's certainly a level of intolerance. It's certainly a level of frustration with the people around you, if not anger and hate, right? And I'm not saying this is you. This is this King of Wands reversed character, the one who may be making an offer towards someone or something outside of the family, right? So if the offer's to a person, they may even sense that. But they certainly, this is the beginning of a major life cycle for them. So they couldn't not do this for you anyway, even if that is you. For many of you, this King of Wands character is just someone in your family, and your intuition is telling you that there's something bubbling beneath the surface, a secret being kept even, perhaps. But for those of you who are expressing creatively, emotionally, in order to try to manifest this new beginning for yourself, it looks like that's working out exactly according to plan. So congratulations. For some it'll be an essay that had to be written, or a story that had to be submitted, right? Some type of writing program or art program, right? Something like that. Or it could be to a program that that isn't a creative art that you would think of off the top of your head, right? But that is just an emotional investment for you, right? So congratulations to those of you who fall in line with the message that way. It does look like, in any case, we do have 2 9s on the table. We'll get to that in just a second. So 99 may be particularly significant for you. 99 may hold an additional message for you even. But it does look like this new beginning, okay? So if the new beginning is yours, it does look like this new beginning. And even if the new beginning is not yours, if you made an emotional offer to someone who's starting off on their new beginning, then in a sense, in a way, they have given you one too. You are going to start fresh on some level in some way, because if they're leaving, or they're not accepting your offer, then something in you will need to heal and reset and begin again, at least in an emotional way, right? So as you embark on your new beginning, whether it is with a school, a program, a new job, or just a state of independence, having had an offer turned down, something like that. However your new beginning shapes out specifically, below the surface here, there's some part of you is still waiting on something, someone. So there's that longing for that person that turned down the offer. There's this maybe need for approval from the family you left behind if you do embark on a new adventure that takes you away from them. At least in essence, if not literally time and space, which I think, for most, it probably will be that, actually going away. And I think that that's best. I mean, this King of Wands isn't always completely intolerant and antisocial, but that is how he feels today. And I just, you know, you don't want to be resenting the family that you genuinely do love and connect with in some ways, at sometimes, on some levels at least. Just sort of creating more animosity, keeping these secrets right under their nose if that's the case. There is this general energy here of someone inviting negative energy into this space of shared emotional fulfillment. Because this King of Wands, this King of Fire here, he's discontent. It's if nothing else, in general, his discontentment is there in the home. And why would you want to generate, as I just said, any type of resentment for those you love around you if you could embark on this new adventure instead? I'm sensing that someone must feel torn here. There's a need to be there with the family, and so if that's the case, there's a need to be there, and this person is almost waiting on their approval or something as they set off. And yet, if they stay, it creates this completely unnecessary negative energy in the group, in the home, in the picture. And in some way, shape, or form, it looks like this King of Wands, this fiery, intense, passionate, perhaps temperamental, maybe specifically frustrated or even angry right now individual, whether that's you or the person that you're needing to watch exit, right? It looks like they do set off on this new beginning. And it looks like of the two imperfect options, that is the kindest at this time. Whomever sets off on a new beginning, someone who turned down your offer, someone who's leaving your happy family situation, you yourself, etc., they are still waiting for what they leave behind, who they leave behind in some way. Maybe for some of you, you're literally hoping someone comes and joins you specifically, but like I said, for a lot of people, this is about our self-worth, maybe having the confidence to proceed forward into this adventure alone, and our tendency to place our self-worth in other people's hands. And so for a lot of people, this isn't necessarily about waiting for someone to literally come and join you physically, maybe, but for a lot of people, it's more about waiting for, as I said, the approval of these other individuals that do have to be left behind at this time, at least for a time. But with 2 9s, we'll see, you are closing out a cycle. You are coming to the close of a cycle. You're not quite there yet. We're getting there with 2 9s on the table. But past this point, past the embarking on the new beginning, then we get to the Magician card. We start with the 2, the intuitive knowing that we're heading toward it, that we have to manifest it. the new beginning. We embark on the new beginning, and it looks like that negative energy that the King of Wands is taking with him, carrying with him out of this family picture, he carries right with him into his new adventure, his new life, because as he's trying to manifest again, he's just manifested this new adventure for himself, but now finds that he needs resources, he needs money, he needs clients, he needs income or a place to stay, or something of that nature. There's either a complication or just in general he's in need of resources. And below the surface, as he's trying to manifest again, which he just did, there's all this worry and fear and doubt, likely connected to this feeling of waiting for someone who's not there. Like, is that approval from the family missing? Or is it just missing someone that you had that shared emotional fulfillment with, or a group, right? And it's not necessarily you. We could very well be talking about someone close to you that you're very concerned with. Like, do you get that feeling that for many people that would connect with this message, it's a message for a querent who's trying to deal with this other person's leaving, and a look at their journey and experience, I guess, might help us understand here, make us more empathetic toward their plight. All is not what it seems. The Moon card is on the bottom of the deck. Piscean energy, sometimes Cancer energy to me as well. It's showing up obviously as the moon is in Cancer, which we said I think already. All is not what it seems in regards to someone's independence. So, someone may need to know that this character, especially if it is a fire sign, Aries, Sag, or Leo, but someone may need to know that this character here, or whomever that intense, passionate individual moving away from or even out of a family situation in order to embark on a new beginning is, whether that's you or someone close to you, whomever it is, someone may need to hear and to know here that when it seems like they are financially independent, they're well off, they have a lot to be grateful for, they're just painting that picture for you. All is not what it seems. They are beneath the surface really struggling to manifest the resources, the attention, the resources. Again, is it clients, the money specifically, the home, some resource that they're in need of. And I always note that in this particular deck, the Magician has all of his tools, but is particularly focused on the coin, right? See, it seems even as if it's reflected in his eye, and he certainly has an audience in this depiction. So I say money, clients, something like that. Attention, maybe. And, it may seem like they are, if they moved away or moved out or something, it may seem like they're sort of checking out with you in the family. It may seem, if you're on that side of this fence, it may seem like the person is sort of drifting away because they tell you how good everything is, how great everything is, and then you don't hear from them, and then they go radio silent. Well, they're working themselves to the bone just in order to make ends meet, most likely, because they're carrying so much fear and anxiety and worry, and maybe even having some insomnia complications because of that. And sleepless nights don't help with a busy work schedule where you're overworked and underpaid, and they probably don't enjoy the monotonous tasks they have to do day in and day out just to sort of hold the pillars up. And all of that fear and anxiety and worry and doubt and fear, again, fear, especially, that they've carried with them into this new beginning, this new adventure of theirs, is that energy that needed to be taken out of this picture? Was there discontentment? And they're finding that it's the result of many things, not just their specific role or relationships at home, etc. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're coming back, right? As I said, for some, this is about someone who, though they have filled an adult leading role in their family, they are of an age, it is a natural time for them to get out of the house and to try something on their own. So yeah, they're learning that they had it better than they thought in certain ways, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're coming back. If it's someone older who had different reasons for leaving, it might not be someone that, you know, that anyone in this happy family needs back. Everything's on a different spectrum here. But it does look like everyone who sets out on a new beginning because of this, because of one person doing so, everyone is left with this sense of longing and waiting for something. So some people in this picture waiting and wondering, is this person returning? Right? Some people in the fresh beginning wondering, is the approval from the people I left behind coming? Is the justification for leaving them behind coming, right? Is the validation coming? And we don't see that here yet. This is a fairly short reading. I've let it get long today, but we don't see that here yet. We did, and so much of it is because of carrying that fear. I think the fear was in. I think the fear was there in this family dynamic before, in the sense that someone was intense and passionate, but afraid that they wouldn't be able to strike out on their own. Afraid that they wouldn't be able to fully express what they wanted to, create what they wanted to in the world, because of being maybe even held back in a way because of this family. And so that's where there was fear before. Now there's fear, as I said, in trying to manifest a second time after having manifested the new beginning to begin with. But you see how that is one individual carrying this tendency, this pattern toward of fear, right? Choosing to be afraid of something. And so that's something that they're carrying with them, that tendency to make that choice. You can find something to be afraid of in any situation, and that's a choice of an attitude, right? So that is something that some people on this new beginning are coming to see. Like, I was afraid before and I'm carrying it with me now. And it's harder to bear. It's a harder lesson to learn, being completely on one's own and struggling to manifest income and resources. And at that time realizing it wasn't just my situation and my family before that was the problem. I'm carrying this addiction to fear almost, and it's holding back my manifestations. That's a harder situation for the person to find themselves in than this one was. This one was uncomfortable, right? So it is harder, but it's not harder necessarily on those people that this person does love, that were are starting again without them, wherever they are, doing whatever they're doing, right? And that's a lot of the point here. There's this intuitive knowing that this energy needs to be carried out of the situation, at least for a time, and so it carries itself out, and it is allowed to be carried out. And it is not easy while it's present, and it is not easy when it has to be untangled in the near future. But it is the natural progression forward. It is just how this has to go. It is what it is. Better that someone strike out on their own and untangle these things and realize find why they're carrying this fear with them, why they blamed others, then continue to stay stifled in a situation where that future remains a mystery. They never know what they're capable of on their own, and they blame those around them and ruin those loving relationships as a result. I mean, there are two clumsy looking options. They are not imperfect and they're not clumsy, but they look clumsy because it's difficult to stumble through. But it's just the way that this has to progress forward for this person to untangle their own, again, tendency toward choosing fear. It's something, we're not going to continue to dig too far down into this. We're already 35 minutes in, but it's something in their childhood that leaves them feeling insecure, worried to let anyone see them, know them, looking over their shoulder, worried to make a mistake, something like that, something of that nature that keeps them on edge. It's something like that keeps them blocking abundance specifically for themselves in a lot of cases. Just holding themselves back in general. And then consequently, in a lot of cases, maybe even blaming others just as a defense mechanism because they're afraid that it's their own fault. It's just who they are. And so it's easier to push someone else away and say, well, must be the effect you're having on me, rather than to say, I'm just defective, I'm just broken. And it's not that there's anything defective about the individual. Obviously, it's their upbringing, the circumstances, the environment that kept them feeling unstable, insecure, worried about, again, I'm sensing revealing oneself. Putting it all out there, basically. A fear they won't be prepared, a fear they won't be perfect, a fear they won't be accepted, a fear, that they will succeed, that they won't succeed. It'll be different for different individuals, but this is something that's been instilled in them at childhood, and it just needs to be untangled. And it looks like that it is the best course of action for this person to strike out on their own and start untangling there. So I hope that the needed insight was able to reach you today. Do keep in mind, like I said, if you feel like someone's pulling away from you and they're creating this painting this picture for you that their new life is so great and they have plenty of money and it's, like I said, keep in mind that when you don't hear from them, it is likely because they are very busy working. And they're grappling with this tendency toward fear at the same time that they are struggling so hard to manifest just the resources that they need. And if they answer the phone at the wrong time, then the whole jig is up, right? They don't want you to know how hard they're struggling. They don't want to ask you for money or whatever it is. So, so with that in mind, I will leave it in your very capable hands. Thank you again. Personal readings below, again, in the description box. And, I look forward to doing another lunar pull for us just as soon as I can. Do make the most of the energy of the moon in Cancer at the very end of Libra season 2019.